Central Valley Talk celebrates what's good about Fresno. We try to find the best of what's going on in our community, Fresno and the Valley, I should say. And our first guest is one of the best, Eddie Silva from Guarantee Real Estate. I've heard a lot about you out there.
Really?
Out in the
Awesome.
community, selling houses and listing houses
Awesome.
and helping people gain home ownership. You've been at it for a while?
Actually, I'm relatively new. I got started earlier this year, but
Okay.
I have a passion for it. I've been learning voraciously the whole year, and it's an awesome business to be in.
And let me ask you a couple quick questions.
Sure.
So you come from what background besides real estate?
I born and raised in Central Valley. I was fortunate enough to go to UC Davis after my time at Sanger High as an Apache.
Yeah.
And I came back, did my teaching credential, and I've been a teacher actually for the past 11 years. So
you've been a teacher.
so
Where,
I'm
I don't know if we could say where you teach or if that's cool, but
I'm actually a teacher for Fresno Unified. So
Okay.
I've been teaching for the past 11 years. I'm also a realtor.
oh, very good. Now, do you speak Spanish, by the way?
Yes, I do.
What a great skill to have right now. I
Yes,
wish I'd
yes.
paid more attention in college when we were studying Spanish. Who should be buying a house right now?
You know, we're in an interesting time in the market right now. Interest rates are still at an all-time low, and although in Fresno inventory is sort of low, you know, it's better to buy now than later. You know, an associate of mine, Chris Harris from Scenic Oaks Lending, gave us some information to think about. But you know, over the next year, they're expecting a whole 1% rate increase for home loans. So,
So your interest rates goes up, but if it's 4% or 5%, 1% is a lot. That's
Right,
like 20 or 25% increase in the rate.
You know, so 1% on a $300,000 loan is you're looking at $3,000 a year. Over the long term, that could add up significantly. So, my advice would be is if you're on the fence right now, it'd be a great time to buy.
Now, should renters be buying
Of course.
rather than renting? Huh?
Right, of course. I mean, there's a lot more advantages being a homeowner than, of course, being a renter. You know, you have the freedom over your home. You have equity being built every year, which you don't have as a renter. So it makes more sense to be a homeowner.
Yeah, and your rent goes up every year.
Right, of
Home,
course, yeah.
owning a home, it doesn't go up, right?
Right, of
Pretty much
course.
stays the same year round. Now, is it a seller's market or a buyer's market or both?
It's like I said, it's an interesting time. We're in an interesting window right now where like I said, interest rates are super low, so it makes sense to buy. But if you're on the fence, also thinking about selling your home, it's an awesome time to sell your home. It was an incredibly busy summer. You know, homes were going for list or at list right above.
They're selling for more than they're listed
Exactly,
for.
yeah. So I was working with a family, and we hustled all summer and found them a great home. But it took, you know, looking at 8 different homes in the dead of the summer, and we put an offer. Got, you know, there's a lot of competition. A couple offers went the other way, and we ended up finally on an offer that went actually 5 over list. So
$5,000 over the list
yeah,
price.
so it's a very competitive market. But if you're interested in selling your home right now is a great time to sell.
sellers are going to do well.
Yes, they are.
Now, 5-6 years ago, a lot of the homeowners were upside down. They couldn't sell their home. But
Right.
now, has it come back enough where they're getting a little equity and they can put them up for sale?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. Right now is, like I said, a perfect time. If you have equity in your home, it makes a lot of sense to sell right now. Or even if you're in that window of time, getting your home ready during the next couple months and priming it for the spring or the summer would be ideal.
Now, we talking about the buyer's market. I think we have a graphic, and you
Right.
want to talk about that a little bit.
So that first graphic there is showing what our current interest rates are. Like I said, I was fortunate to get this from Chris Harris.
So 3.23 to 3.94.
Right. So for a 30-year fix, we're sitting at about 4%, which is still at an all-time low. And like I said, if you're on that fence, it makes a lot of sense right now to go ahead and start looking at buying a home.
Well, the difference is when I bought my first home, the interest rate was 9%.
Wow.
And we were pretty happy to get that.
Right,
It was
right.
a really good thing. And so my house payment would be double than what people are paying now.
Yep.
So
You would save a lot more money now. Yeah.
now, how do you get started? Let's say somebody's saying, I want to buy a home. Where do you start?
Well, the good thing is, I think find yourself a great realtor. I want to
Like
talk
Eddie
about.
Silva, for
I
example.
want to talk about what actually a realtor means. Finding somebody that's actually a realtor, but you know, they might be able to point you in the direction of a great lender, and then you know, meet with your lender and get a pre-approval letter. A lot of first-time buyers are a little confused with being pre-qualified and being pre-approved, and I think it's really important to understand the distinction. Being pre-qualified is just an approximation of their ability to buy a home, but a pre-approval letter is actually what you want.
Now, a lot of our viewers who may never have bought a house before, you say find a lender, a good lender. Maybe they don't know, they've never bought a house.
Right.
But can you recommend people if they come
yeah,
to
I
you,
think
to
any-
kind of set them up with that?
Any realtor who's established a great rapport in town, who's worked with people in town, will sort of develop relationships with a great lender, and that's what you want. You want somebody that has a good relationship with your lender, because it's an involved process, and you can guide them along the way, and make sure that the person that they're going to be working with is going to help them find a home that and lock in a rate that's going to make sense for them.
There's nightmare stories on lenders. I just had a client, real estate client, and he went through the whole process. They made the offer. The lender saying everything's good, everything's good. We get a week before closing when we've removed all the contingencies, and the lender goes, "Oh no, these people can't qualify."
Right.
They lost their deposit. They don't get their house. They were packed and ready to move because we were about to close, and it was a nightmare. And it was a bad lender.
Right.
Just
Right.
somebody who just kept saying the things you wanted to hear.
Exactly.
Good lender will tell you, no, you're not ready yet, or you got to wait a month, or
Right. Or
can only
you might
apply
need to
this much.
fix your credit. You might
Yeah.
need other things that need to be fixed before you can actually, move along in the process. But like I said, getting that pre-approval letter is really important, and
Not just pre-qualified.
right.
They
right.
give those out a dime a
A
dozen.
pre-approval letter goes through the underwritten process,
Okay.
and so they look at your debt-to-income ratio, they look at credit reports, bank statements, salary, different obligations, and it's essentially it's a statement that from your lender saying that they've reviewed your financials and they're ready and prepared to allow you to make that purchase.
Now, you say get a realtor, not just a real estate agent. What's the
Right.
difference?
So, there are a lot of real estate agents out there, and there's also what we call realtors. Realtors is a title that real estate agents and realtors essentially do pay for, but along the lines of paying for that title and being part of the National Association of Realtors, it means that you're going to adhere to a strict code of ethics that's based on professionalism and protection for the public.
Okay.
So it's a whole other layer of responsibility, and it's also a title that we wear with pride, so that we make sure that we serve our community with professionalism.
So if somebody's out there and they're watching, they go, wow, that Eddie Silva, and you do make a lot of sense. You're very presentable and very professional, and so they're saying, I want to call Eddie Silva to maybe sell their house. By the way, if they don't know how much to sell it for, can you help them figure that out?
Oh yeah, that's one of the things that we do. You can actually go to my website, guarantee.com /Eddie Silva, and there's an instant home value there where you can punch in your home address, and or you can give me a call at 559-577-5261, and I'd be happy to walk you through the process and find comparables that will give you a great idea of what your home's sitting at.
So go to guarantee.com /Eddie Silva. That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I almost have it memorized already. What about other social media, Facebook or anything like that?
I do it all. I'm on all over socials. Instagram, Mr. Silva 247365.
Okay.
I'm sorry, yeah, 247365. And then on Facebook, you can look at my business page. Silva Gets It Sold.
Wow.
And you can like my business page, and I'll add you in. And
I've heard
we have a lot
about
of fun
that
there.
about Eddie. Silva Gets It Sold. You have a house, you want to get it sold. Why else would you list your house if you didn't want to get it sold? Find an agent that can get it sold, like Silva Gets It Sold.
That's right.
Go to Facebook, type Eddie Silva, Silva Gets It Sold. You will find him someplace. What else do you want our viewers to know?
I think I would love to work with anybody that's a first-time buyer. I think my background in teaching is affording me a lot of patience, and at the same time the ability to educate people about the process.
Hey, do you remember your first one, the first
That was awesome.
sale?
Yeah, it was awesome. A great couple from Chicago, Carol and Ron Sikinski,
Sikinski?
a retired couple, and they actually transplanted from Chicago to be close to their grandchildren, and I got the awesome privilege of letting Ron know on Father's Day morning that he got the house.
Wow.
So it's an awesome feeling. I love
Yeah.
making that call
Yeah.
and making people's dreams come true, and now they have a great home that they can spend their golden years raising their grandchildren.
Probably a big difference, value difference in Chicago.
Yeah, oh yeah, big time.
Probably a nice home with a backyard and a
Big
front
time.
yard, and
Oh, yeah.
something they didn't have in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, Eddie Silva. Go to guarantee.com /Eddie Silva, or go to Facebook, Silva Gets It Sold, or I can't see the phone number that far away, but tell them your phone number one more time.
559-577-5261.
Very good. We will be back with more Central Valley Real Estate right after this.